Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. My name is Simon Pond. I work at the University of Nottingham, and I'm here today to give you a final pre-departure briefing, final reminders, notes of everything you need to prepare before you leave home to come and join us at the University of Nottingham. This session is primarily focused on how to register. So that's completing your registration at the University of Nottingham. I'll go into those details shortly. But yes, my name is Simon. Some of you may have had webinars, in-person sessions with me and my colleagues before at the university. We work and have worked very closely with your college services teams at Kaplan. So for UNIC, that would be Catherine, Emma, Javi, PJ, and for the digital pathway students, that would be Dween primarily, and her team on the digital side. So we have delivered over the summer a number of different presentations and in the last few months around everything you need to prepare for Nottingham. So we do have recordings of those presentations, but as I mentioned, this is focused on how to register at the University of Nottingham, which is a key thing that you're going to need to prepare for in the next couple of weeks. So we have been working hard over the summer in the background to make sure everything is prepared for you to join us in September. We are super excited for you to be joining us. This part of the year is our favourite. I think welcoming all the new students from all over the world. We have a big number from Kaplan, so there'll definitely be some familiar faces when you join the university and on your course. But it's a time of the year that's really exciting for the university. You'll feel a real good sense of buzz and atmosphere when you arrive in Nottingham. So we just want to make sure you've got everything you need and you've prepared everything well in advance of you coming to Nottingham so that you can really embrace the sort of excitement and the new start and all the new things that you're going to experience whilst you're here. So the best bit of advice is to be prepared, and hopefully we'll go through that for the next. We've got the session in for the next hour, so the slides will probably take about half of that. So what I'm going to cover with you today is a final, very brief pre-departure recap. So as I mentioned, we've delivered presentations in the last couple of months. We can reshare those with you. We will be talking about how to register and when to arrive, a bit more information about Welcome Week and events, and then there will be opportunity at the end to ask any questions that you have. So I am going to be presenting, so I won't be able to see the questions as they come in through the session, but please do add them into the chat function and I will address them at the end if I haven't already addressed them throughout the presentation. So it might be worth holding some questions until the main slides are over, and then we'll get to them as soon as possible. If you do have any individual questions, then there'll be contact details at the end of the presentation. So just a few housekeeping rules. You're all on mute and your videos are off. I'll be on camera and with my mic on. Please don't alter that in any way in terms of it muting anybody whilst they're speaking. That just means a bit of a delay in getting the information across for everyone else. So yeah, questions at the end, but I'll get started now and go through the slides that hopefully you can all see on the screen, but if not, then please do raise your hand and we'll get to that shortly. So we are, as I mentioned, really excited to invite you to I'll start that again. We are really excited to welcome you to Nottingham. And it really is no time at all. It will be just a couple of weeks and you'll hopefully be with us. This is your new home. I know some of you have made a home in Nottingham already, and Kaplan have definitely prepared you very well for that. Hopefully you've got a good sense of the city if you have lived here before, but many of you won't have been to Nottingham before, let alone lived in it. So you do have a lot to look forward to. There's loads in terms of Welcome Week, but also just the city as a whole. There is so much about it, so many new people you're going to meet, so many new experiences, and we're just really excited to have you with us for Welcome Week and beyond, and just make your life in Nottingham a lot easier, hopefully. But there's tons and tons to look forward to. In terms of your pre-departure checklist, so that's the main reasons that we're here today. There's a few key priorities that you need to bear in mind. So I'm going to quickly overview them here, and then we're going to go through them in more detail throughout the presentation. So, sorry, just a note, in terms of housekeeping, please don't try and take control of the presentation. So I am controlling that at the moment so everybody can see that on the screen. So just try to leave that alone so that everyone else can see it. There's no sort of delay to that. Your pre-departure checklist. So your priorities are listed here. These are just the main ones, and as I mentioned, we'll go through these in more detail. But if you haven't already, priority one is to accept your offer. So I know all of you, nearly, I think all of you will have completed your studies or will be doing this week. So your offer should be in Nottingham Hub. You just need to accept that. If you haven't already, arrange your accommodation. So I know many of you have, and many of you will be looking forward to moving in the next couple of weeks, but that is a key priority. Meeting the conditions of your offer. As I mentioned, most of you will have completed your studies at Kaplan, and your results will be with the university now. So if that isn't the case, just let us know, but hopefully that will be sorted now. And once you've met the conditions of your offer, many of you will have been through this process, but then the university will issue your CAS, so your confirmation of acceptance of studies. As part of that process, you'll need to verify your CAS information. So the university, as part of that, when the CAS is ready to be produced, the university will send you an email direct to you, and it will say, please check the information on this CAS. So that will be making sure your name is spelt correctly, the course you're studying at the university is accurate, and everything related to that, lots of similar information. You'll need to verify that's correct, and then the university will produce your CAS for you. So it's really important that that checking stage is completed properly, because if there are any errors on your CAS, that just causes issues down the line. So it doesn't take too long, but just make sure that that step is complete. Once you have your CAS, you can apply for your visa. Again, a lot of you will already either be through this process. Some of you may still be in the middle of it waiting. But I think most of you should have applied for your visa by now. If you haven't and you have any questions, then there will be contacts that you can get in touch with later on. Making your travel arrangements is an important one, and when to arrive and where to arrive. Then when you have been issued your visa, your e-visa, there's a couple of steps that are specific to that in terms of linking your UKVI account to your e-visa, and making sure that you travel with the same passport that is linked to your e-visa. The next couple of steps are related to registration. So we'll go through this in more detail. But in terms of sending your digital evidence of your e-visa, you'll need to do this via a digital visa status form, which we'll send a link to via the presentation, and also can pop it in the chat if that's needed. Some of you will have been invited to complete your online registration already. So that is completed via your Nottingham Hub account. You'll also need to complete your in-person registration, and to do that, you'll need to book an appointment. More details are on that in the next couple of slides, so we will hopefully answer all of your questions around that. Once you've done all of those things, you can apply for a university card, and then, of course, just get ready for a really great adventure at Nottingham, at the university, and with all the new friends that you're going to meet whilst you're with us. So it's also a really good opportunity to consider all of the things that you may not think that you need, that you may already have on your phone. If you don't already, if you've got a smartphone, downloading all of the relevant travel apps before your departure. So that's things like Google Maps, Trainline, which is where you book your train rail travel in the UK. Important to have that app on your phone, so that's sort of ease of use for when you arrive, if you don't book in advance. Uber, so obviously that's the taxi app. We do have Uber all around Nottingham, so it's really easy to book a taxi and jump in wherever you need to go in the city, and also from either the airport. There are other taxi apps available, the airport or different train stations. But to download them in advance just sort of gets away from anything in case you have any issues with accessing the internet when you arrive in the UK. We do advise that you book travel tickets in advance. That's from the airport to your accommodation, whether that's a taxi or a train. Cashless payments are more common in the UK if you haven't lived in the UK before. This may not be straightforward before you have a UK-based bank card. So to book in advance is what we recommend you doing, so that you don't arrive at the airport and then not sure what your next step is. So to book in advance is really important. So this is just a quick note about paying your fees and deposits. If your visa application is currently being processed, please avoid making tuition or accommodation payments whilst this is the case. So this won't appear on your CAS. So if your visa application is still in process, then we advise you not to pay fees and deposits because this won't be reflected. Accommodation payments are paid into a separate account than your tuition fees. If you are paying your own tuition fees, so if you're self-funded if you're self-funded, then you'll be billed in 3 installments. So that will be 3 installments throughout the year. You can pay that by credit or debit card or PayPal, bank transfer, a check or a bank draft, or Flywire transaction. There's some really useful links on this slide. So when you receive the presentation afterwards, then you can click through and get to this information. You will receive a lot more information about actually how to pay. You'll get instructions exactly on how via email when you arrive and when those charges are put onto your student account. But if your visa is currently in process, then don't action that immediately. In terms of when to arrive, so all of you in this call will either be an undergraduate or postgraduate taught student. So you might be coming to study your bachelor's or your master's degree. Welcome week starts in not too long at all. So Monday, the 22nd of September. This is when Welcome Week proper kicks off. And it's also when your school induction will begin. So that's your induction onto your course. Further information will be communicated, if it hasn't already been communicated, over email. You all should have received and will still be receiving welcome emails. So that has all the information about and all the key links about Welcome Week, all the different activities. But this will take place between the 22nd and the 26th of September. This is that first week proper that you'll be with us. But it also continues. There are activities before this and after this. And this first sort of few weeks are designed to help you settle into life on campus, meet new people on your course, in your halls, and everywhere else in between. But this Welcome Week there's more information later on and we'll share the links as well. But if you haven't already, check out the website and sort of start to plan out exactly what activities you want to go to, and try and plan that around your own schedule. Your course timetable, so that's when you will actually study the modules on your course, your classes for your first semester, will be available from Friday the 26th of September. So that's the last day of Welcome Week. General arrivals, if you've not applied to arrive early, general arrivals are the weekend before, so Friday the 19th and Saturday the 20th of September. I'm relatively confident in thinking this is most people, hopefully most people in the call, but if not, then do let us know. And the last date to register, which is really, really important, and it's sort of the purpose behind the next few slides, is Monday, the 13th of October, 2025. So this is for undergraduate and postgraduate taught students. You will need to register online and in person by Monday, the 13th of October. If you don't register, both stages of registration, if you don't complete that, then you won't be able to continue on the course at Nottingham. So that's a really important date to keep in mind. Hopefully you will have done it well in advance of this. This is 3 weeks after your course start date, so it is plenty of time. But yeah, I'm going to take you through exactly what you need to prepare, and more information on registering now. So at the University of Nottingham, there are 2 parts to the registration process. Part 1 is online registration. So online registration is available from around 4 weeks before the start date of your course. So some of you may have already received this information via email. This will be if you have gone through all the visa process, you've got everything in place and you're ready to come, or you're nearing that stage. You may have already received an email. If you haven't yet received an email, don't worry, these are continuously sent to incoming students. But these emails include all the information you need on how to actually register online. Stage 2 is in-person registration. So ahead of your in-person registration, you should have already provided your e-visa share code. So this is a share code that's attached to your e-visa that you need to provide to the visa and immigration team ahead of your in-person registration. There are a couple of key caveats to this. So if you applied for your visa from overseas, so if you applied from your home country or your country of residence, then you'll need to provide at your in-person registration appointment evidence such as a boarding pass or an e-ticket. This is just a confirmation of the date you arrived in the UK. So e-tickets can obviously be viewed on your phone digitally unless you have a physical copy. But you need to ensure you have this evidence with you, especially if you didn't book your flights yourself. So obviously, in many cases, your parents or guardians may book your flights for you. But if you applied for your visa from overseas, you'll need to make sure you have all of this stuff with you when you come to the in-person registration. So what we don't want is for you to come to the in-person registration event, not have everything you need, and then sort of have to be ringing around to try and find that information. So it's just important that you have that with you. If you applied for your visa from within the UK, so if you've only recently completed your Kaplan studies, and you're already in Nottingham and you're progressing, then you need to bring your visa decision letter with you. So online registration, there are stages to online registration. The first part is that you need to activate your IT account. So that's your university student email address, and set up multi-factor authentication to access your university email account. You will have an email that contains instructions on how to complete online registration. These links on this will take you to how to set up your IT account. I'm sure you're all very familiar with multi-factor authentication, but you'll just need to make sure that this is in place and set up by your smartphone. or similar to, so that you can actually access the account. Once you have that, you need to log into Nottingham Hub, which this is the student system that you will access. That's what you've done so far to sort of accept your offer, upload any evidence that you need. So hopefully you're familiar with that. Log into Nottingham Hub using your university username and password. For those of you who have studied at the college, this is not your associate account, so this is different to your associate account. So this is your university username and password. This will be clear on your Nottingham Hub. Please ensure that these are your university username and password set up as part of the IT account activation. So this is the instructions that you'll follow in the link right at the top of the page, but make sure it's your university details and not your associate account details. This can be confusing, so if you do have any questions, please do flag. But on the Nottingham Hub homepage, once you're logged in, there's a registration tile. So that will be very obvious on the screen. You'll need to click into that and just follow the steps to complete your online registration. We do have a very handy 3-minute video on how to complete this that goes step by step. So we will share this with you. You can go through that as you're doing it. The online registration is relatively straightforward, as long as everything else is in place. Again, you need to complete your online registration before Monday, the 13th of October, but it's likely you'll be able to do that way in advance of that. So our recommendation is to do it as soon as possible. As soon as you get the email, then you can do that. Once you've completed your online registration tasks, you will receive an email to your university account to confirm that you've completed your online registration step. This can take around 24 hours to actually receive the email, so just be patient with that one. If you haven't received it after 24 hours, then you'll need to flag it to the contacts, the Visa and Immigration team at the university. So once you've completed your online registration, you must also complete your in-person registration. You'll need to complete both steps to actually be fully registered at the university. So in order to register for your course at the University of Nottingham, you need to book an in-person registration appointment. This is so you can provide your evidence that you need and to get your passport scanned, your physical copy of your passport scanned. Ahead of your appointment, so once you've booked your appointment, ahead of it, you'll need to provide your e-visa share code via the digital visa status form. So these are linked to here. This must be done in advance of the registration event or prior to your arrival in the UK. So this digital visa status form, you'll need to be logged into your university email to access the form. And you'll find the e-visa share code with the rest of your e-visa information. This is something that you have that until you provide to the university doesn't have. So you need to do this in advance of your in-person registration event. It's quite common to have difficulty accessing the Microsoft form. This might be due to trouble with your university email account. If you get to this stage, you try to access the form and you're unable to, please contact IT services in the first instance. This might be because it's an issue with your actual email account. These are easy to be fixed, but it's just worth contacting IT services to get that sorted. The main sort of difficulty that students have with accessing the digital status form is that you need to access your university email account first, which is why IT can help you if you're having difficulty with this. You should also ensure that you're logged into your university account on your phone or however you access it, rather than your personal account before filling in the form. So that just makes sure that when you actually complete the form, it's linked to your university account and it makes the access much easier. So you should contact the Visa and Immigration team if you're having difficulty linking your UK VI account to your e-visa, or if you're having trouble generating your e-visa share code, or if there's any other errors with your e-visa, then the Visa and Immigration team will be there to help. So just to confirm on that one, if you're having access with the MS form due to your email address or email access not working, then go to IT services. But if you're unable to access anything in terms of your visa, your UK VI account, your share code, then contact the Visa and Immigration team, and they'll be able to help. In both instances, when you email the IT services team or immigration support team, always quote your Nottingham student ID number. So that's your 20 number. Make sure you do that, and then that'll be the quickest way that they'll be able to address your issue, get in touch with you, and make sure that they sort it as soon as possible. So you need to book an in-person registration event. So you can do that now. Registration events appointments are open. One bit of advice we always give, so it's likely that you'll do this when you arrive. That could be anytime from, for example, the 17th, the week before of September, all the way through. If you're looking to book an in-person registration event for Welcome Week, just make sure you check your school induction timetable before booking your appointment to avoid any clashes. So we want to make sure that you go to all of your school induction, course induction activities first. So just make sure that you don't clash. And some of you may already have been at the stage, if you've already booked an appointment, but you need to change the time of the appointment because you've found a clash somewhere or you're unable to make the original appointment, then you need to cancel the appointment and book a new one. That might not be the case for everyone, but if that is the case, then you'll need to cancel and reschedule rather than just not showing up at your appointment. So at your appointment, you'll need to show a copy of your physical copy of your passport and evidence of your date of arrival in the UK. So that is if you've applied from overseas, a physical copy of your passport and evidence of your date of arrival in the UK. And if you've applied extended from within the UK, then it's your visa letter. Just a couple of notes on in-person registration. We do not need to scan your visa or BRP card that you used for the University of Nottingham International College. So whatever you used last year when you first registered at the college in Nottingham, we don't need to scan that. We need to scan your new e-visa, your passport. We need the share code for your new e-visa, sorry. And a current visa for another institution won't prove your right to study at the University of Nottingham. So you may have one for another institution. Please note that we won't be able to accept this to actually as evidence that you've got the right to study at the University of Nottingham. So just make sure you've got the right one, and you should send the right code, etc. So below, don't send your e-visa share code for another institution. So if you are still awaiting your visa or the visa decision, there are further instructions, but don't share your e-visa share code for a different institution because we won't be able to accept that either. If you've submitted a student visa application for the University of Nottingham in the UK and you're still awaiting your visa or the visa decision, we will also need you to complete this MS form, Microsoft form, which is linked to on the page. And this is really important because we need to ensure that you've applied for your student visa for the university before registering you. So if you haven't yet, if you're still awaiting your visa or the visa decision, then please complete this form to let the Visa and Immigration team know that, so that we have all that information in place to actually enable us to register you at the university. So booking your appointment. The in-person registration event takes place at the university in person between Wednesday the 17th and Monday the 22nd of September. That is in the Great Hall in the Trent building. So University Park campus is our quote unquote main campus. It's the biggest campus, and this is where a lot of the welcome activities will be taking place. Your in-person registration event is here. This is very well signposted when you're on campus, but it's also available via Google Maps or any similar map apps that you have. So hopefully you won't get too lost. You should only book one appointment. If you need to amend this, there's a link to do so in the confirmation email that you'll receive. You might need to cancel your original appointment and rebook. It's advised that you arrive and complete your registration by the 22nd of September, which is the first day of Welcome Week. If you're arriving later than the 22nd of September, or if you can't find an appointment before or on the 22nd of September, more appointments for in-person registration will be released on the same booking form after the 22nd of September. So the same booking form that you used to attempt or to book your original appointment will still be active, and more dates will be added to that. Just another reminder, the latest date you can register is Monday the 13th of October. This is a non-negotiable, absolutely need to register online and in person by this date for undergraduate and postgraduate taught students. If you are not going to arrive at the university before the final deadline to register, so if you're expecting to arrive at the university after Monday the 13th of October, you should not travel and you should arrange a deferral of your course. So this is the final deadline. There's no negotiation on this. So if you think that there's going to be an issue with you arriving before this point, then please contact the team, contact the different teams that I'm going to show you on the next few slides, but make sure that you arrange a deferral of your course, because that might lead to issues down the line that we can avoid if that is the case. We have late arrivals web pages on the website, so we can search them on the website or just type in late arrivals, University of Nottingham, and this has more details and advice on what happens if you're expecting to be late to the university. Once your in-person registration is confirmed and online registration is also complete, you should receive an email to your university email account to confirm that your registration is complete. So here's that deadline again, and that's just a final reminder. We have more information on registration all over our website, so it's linked to from here, that you can look at your own leisure as well. Make sure that you have all of the information there. But you need to ensure both of these stages are complete. So without these stages, you won't be able to complete other activities such as accessing your timetable or getting a bank letter, which we'll touch on shortly, or choosing any optional modules. So this could cause delays, but it also adds to the importance of completing both stages. So for those of you not familiar with the University of Nottingham University Park campus or the Trent building, this is what it looks like from the front. So this is what you'll be aiming for on campus. So the in-person registration event takes place in here in this building between Wednesday the 17th and Monday the 22nd of September. This is the front of the building. You'll likely be entering the building from this side. Again, it'll be very well signposted, so there'll be lots of support staff on hand to guide you and to take you to the right place. But this is what that looks like. If you're expecting to arrive after this point, or if you need to book an in-person registration appointment after the 22nd of September, then it's likely that your appointment will be in a different building, and it might well be at Cherry Tree Lodge. So this is where the visa and immigration team are based. So if you arrive after the 22nd of September, or if you have any questions for the visa and immigration team, this is where they are based. So as you can see, the Trent building is where you'll complete in-person registration as part of the in-person registration event. And then Cherry Tree Lodge, if you see the building in the background, that is the Trent building. So it's just around the corner. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes to walk between the two. So hopefully you won't get too lost at all. So in terms of the in-person registration, if you have any issues or questions, if you have issues with connecting to your IT account, your University of Nottingham student email address, please contact the IT service desk. If you have any problems completing your registration or have any questions, then visit the Student Inquiry Centre on the University of Nottingham website or the University of Nottingham's Contact Us page. And there's also a really useful registration FAQs, frequently asked questions page, which hopefully will answer most of the questions that you have. But as mentioned, if you have a circumstance individual to you that's unique to you and you need advice and guidance on it, then the Student Inquiry Centre is the best place to go. They'll be able to point you in the right direction if they can't answer it immediately. So other key activities. So these are based on you having completed both stages of your registration. Then you'll be able to benefit from all of the other good stuff that you've got to come at the University of Nottingham, but also some of the things that you need, like letters to open a bank account or any support with registering with the NHS, which I'll talk about now. You'll only be able to do that when you've completed both stages of your registration. So we do encourage you to do it as soon as possible. So as a student, you'll be able to register with the NHS, the National Health Service. This offers you a range of support whilst you're with us. So that's everything from GP appointments, general practitioner appointments, hospital treatment in accident and emergency. Hopefully you won't need that, but that is there as a safety net in case you do. Hospital treatment if you're referred by your GP. And lots of other services as well that are offered with the NHS. If you're prescribed, for example, a course of medication, you'll need to take your NHS prescription to a pharmacy or chemist. And currently there's a standing charge of £9.90 per course of prescription. So as part of your student visa application, you will need to, if you haven't already, pay the NHS surcharge or immigration health surcharge, the cost on the screen there. And then once you've done that and you're here, you've arrived on campus, you've registered, to access the NHS, you need to register with a doctor. So that needs to be your local one, general practitioner. For those of you not familiar, or those of you who haven't lived in the UK before, general practitioners work in groups called a practice. So you'll go to, if you have an appointment with your doctor, you'll go to a GP practice. These are often in places called health centres. And you'll need to have registered with your GP in advance of this. And it needs to be the one that is most local to you. So for students studying on University Park or Jubilee campus, there's a University of Nottingham Health Service. This is based in Cripps Health Centre on University Park. So this is the doctor that you will register with in most cases. Do this as soon as possible when you arrive so that you can utilise the services as soon as you arrive. Like I said, hopefully you won't need to, but to get that sorted as a priority is really important, because then you can if you need to. If you're studying on the Sutton Bonington campus, you need to register with a GP practice closer to the Sutton Bonington campus. So if you will be guided, provided more information on who that might be. You'll be given the options. But if you are based on Sutton Bonington campus and you are living in accommodation there, you'll need to register with a GP closer to you. Just a couple of final notes on the NHS. What it'd be useful to bring with you is records of any vaccinations, any disabilities or medical conditions. So if you have any of those from your doctor in your home country or your country of residence, then make sure that you bring those with you. It's free to see an NHS doctor at point of service. So you pay for your NHS health surcharge, but at point of service, it is free. There are charges for prescription, dentistry, eye care. So just bear that in mind if and when you need to use that. And a final note is that NHS treatment is always confidential. So there is patient-doctor confidentiality. Whatever you say in an appointment with your doctor is confidential, and those records are kept safe. So it is something that you can utilise. Hopefully that is a bit of a safety net for you as and when you need to use it whilst you're at the university. So opening a bank account, for those of you, again, who haven't lived in the UK before, haven't lived in Nottingham during your studies before, try to open a bank account as soon as possible after you arrive. It can take some time to set up in certain circumstances, so it's important that you do this as quickly as possible. You'll usually need a bank letter, which you can request from Student Services. You'll need to be registered to do that. Some banks will let you apply online, so do have a look at the options and see if that is the case for you. Others, you might need to visit a bank in person. So there are banks close by to campus, but also in the city centre. Bank letters can take a few days to process. So our advice is always that you bring enough money, cash, with you for your first couple of weeks. If you're planning to open a bank account as soon as you arrive, and then bring cash with you to make sure that you've got enough money until that point. There are lots of popular bank options, some recognisable names, high street names that you'll find in the city. You'll find actual branches for those. There are also online and app-based banks that you can use. So with some online banks, you don't need a bank letter to open an account. So just do a bit of research in terms of what you actually want to open before you arrive, and then hopefully there'll be no delay in you actually accessing your money. So welcome week. Once you have arrived, you've planned everything you need to, you've arrived safely in Nottingham, you're set up in your accommodation. Welcome week is a great week. It's my favourite week of the year. That as well as graduation, they are two of my favourites. This begins on Monday, the 22nd of September. And this is essentially your chance to find out everything the university has to offer. So the Welcome Week is run in conjunction with the Students' Union, and it's your opportunity to try new things, meet new people. If you've got a particular passion that you're already involved with, and you want to find like-minded people, this is your chance. If you want to try something completely new, then this is also your chance. The best bit of advice I can give you about Welcome Week is that everybody is in the same position as you. So I remember my Welcome Week, I was a little bit nervous about, I don't know if I should join this. I don't know if I'm ready, if I've got the experience to join this sort of thing. It really, really doesn't matter. Everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's trying something new for the first time, meeting new people. The best bit of advice I can give you is if you're comfortable to try and embrace it, look out for all the opportunities that you want to take on, and just be assured that everyone's in the same position. So if you see someone that looks a bit nervous, reach out to them, and hopefully expect that back as well. There'll be plenty of support staff as well as students to guide you through Welcome Week. And it's also the time when you're actually going to meet your course team, people on your course, and start semester one at the university as well. So the Welcome Week web pages have loads and loads of information on them. that includes everything that I've touched on in the slides just now, and everything else that we have touched on over the last few months in terms of preparing you for Nottingham. So I haven't covered everything today, but everything is covered on the Welcome Week web pages. If you do need any further information on anything that you can't find, feel free to reach out to us. But Welcome Week itself is an amazing opportunity to just get involved. It can be overwhelming, and there might be a lot of things, a lot of new things, particularly being in a new country. A lot of new people, a lot of new activities, a lot of new places to get to know. There are activities throughout the week for whether you want to have a really relaxed experience. There's loads of events for you, or if you want to go out and party and meet new people, there's that as well, and everything in between. So I've just highlighted a handful of events that are taking place in the first few days. The Touchdown Essentials event, this is one of the bigger events that we would recommend you go to. This will be held in the Senate chamber. So this is in the Trent building, that same building that you will complete in-person registration in. This is the event. It's a big exhibition space. There'll be lots of different stands. So store holders, if you want to open a bank account, there'll be banks there. Students' union advice, the finance team, libraries, wellbeing services, information on health centres, careers and employability, everything that you need for when you first start and settle at the university, they'll all be there. So we encourage you to go around, pick up as much information as you can, meet as many of the different teams as you can. The rest of these on the screen are just a few events that we have as well. So this is just a selection, but the International Welcome Hangout is for everyone. So you might go to the Touchdown Essentials event and then want to go to the International Welcome Hangout. This is just a great opportunity to make some friends, play some games, have a bit of a wind down after a busy first few days. Freshers Film Festival is always fun. So this is run over 2 weeks, and these are hosted by different student societies, so across campus. So this is completely run by student union societies. But throughout the 2 weeks, societies all sort of host a screening of different films that they love. That could be cult classics or Hollywood films, feel-good films, and everything. I'm sure you'll find something you like in them, and if you don't, then don't worry. But that is open to everyone, and they very much welcome you to join. IKEA Student Takeover is always a fun one. So that is joint with Nottingham Trent University, but it's a trip to IKEA. So if you arrive in the UK and you think, I need things to kit out my accommodation, then this is a trip that you can take that's organised with the Students' Union. And there's also lots of opportunities. I've put one on the screen, but similar to this, the City Globe Cafe. So again, just a nice way to relax and unwind. And there'll be lots of cultural activities, and there'll be options there'll be different on-campus options as well. There's lots of other opportunities as well, sort of trips to Nottingham Castle, Woollerton Park, that will be running throughout the first 2 weeks as well. On the actual website, if you type in Welcome Week or Welcome and navigate your way to the events listing, this is where you'll find all of the information. This is being updated continuously. I've highlighted just at the top there a search function. So if you're having a scroll, great. If you want to search for anything in particular, that's the place to do it. And this will be continuously updated, and they are open to all. Everyone's welcome, and everyone's encouraged to join. Tons and tons of opportunities. Like I said, it's a great chance for you to try something new, or meet new people, or try something you're very good at and you've done for all your life and you just want to continue doing at Nottingham. That is there for you as well. Just a screenshot of some of the events that are on. I think some of those I've already talked about, but things like quizzes. There'll also be, if you're living in university accommodation, There'll also be a residential experience team who will put on a lot of events for you as well. I know many of you will be living off campus in the city. That doesn't mean you can't benefit from all of this residential experience activities, but if you're living on campus, there'll be sort of a ready-made team there to welcome you and help you out with the first few days whilst you're at Nottingham. So, key contacts. There are links throughout the presentation, and the presentation I'll share straight after this. Student services is going to be one of the key ones. So this will cover almost every question that you have. So finding a student service centre, there's a link on the website, and you'll be able to either go in person or raise a request online, and the team will get back to you. The international office, this is the office that I'm based in. This is the email address for the team. If you have any questions about your individual circumstance, it's highly likely that you'll be able to find the answer to your question online. So we do encourage you to look online for the answer. We've got lots of different frequently asked questions pages. The accommodation team, there's their email address. The visa and immigration team can be contacted on immigration-support@Nottingham. And then I've left the Welcome Week webpage link in there as well. So thank you so much for listening. I know that was a lot of information, and I know I talked about registration a lot, but that is a really important part of it. We will share these slides and this recording with you afterwards. If you have any questions, please do look at the key contacts throughout the presentation to answer them, and I'll be available as well if you do have anything that you need that hasn't been covered in the above or in previous presentations that we've done. But thank you, everybody. We are genuinely really excited to welcome you to campus. It's the start of a new experience for you. It's the start of your next step, your next chapter. We're really pleased that you've joined the University of Nottingham. It's a huge part of your life, university, and to have picked the University of Nottingham, we're really honoured that you have done, and we really hope that the next 1 year, 3 years, 4 years, however long you're going to be with us, are a great experience. So it all starts in a couple of weeks. We'll see you then.